The Formula Regional European Championship returns here for race number 2 at the Red Bull Ring. And to get you more information on what happened last race, well, let's just say Alex Ninovich, Alex Ninovich, Freddie Slater, and Rashid Al Dahiri topped your podium. Let's see if they can do it again today as we head down to the grid within Silvestri.
Grand Prix circuit in the brand new Tartas, powered by the Alto Technica tuned turbocharged Toyota engine. I'll bring you all the action from pit lane. In commentary, we say good afternoon to Chris McCarthy.
Good afternoon, Ian Silverstream. Great to have you down there.
Indeed, it is. It is great to have Ian Silvestri down there in pit lane, and well, it's about to get even more better because the Formula Regional European Championship is about to hit the circuit. Of course, race 2 is reverse grid of race number 1, meaning Reza Wortham starts on the front row of the grid in the Road and Motorsport team as well, and starting just alongside him is second place.
How is your approach?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's a long race and push pass makes it interesting, so yeah, we'll see how it goes after the first lap.
Dion, the push to pass, as we found out this morning, it is very powerful. What is the tactic, early on or later in the race?
I don't know. We'll see how the situation goes, and we'll go from there. So yeah.
Dion Gowda, best of luck, mate. Dion Gowda will try and get a quick word, if we can, with Newman Chi, highly rated driver from the People's Republic of China. And you can see carrying the colours of Aston Martin. We'll just try and get a quick word with Newman. Newman, a great drive this morning. As we just heard from Dion Gowda, the push to pass, it is powerful. It is very strategic. Starting from near on the front of the grid, the view looks pretty good.
I would say we look quite competitive for the morning, so I'm looking forward to a win.
Oh my god, the ads.
Newman, we saw you take a fabulous victory at Monza last year, an intelligent drive. You must be very proud to carry the colours of Aston Martin into the Formula Regional European Championship campaign.
Yeah, definitely very proud to be carrying this livery around the track. Yeah.
Newman, best of luck, mate. Have a really good race here this afternoon. Newman Chi, a real star of the future, a young rookie. As you can see, it looks very familiar, this car, carrying the colours of Aston Martin, highly rated. Here's the Italian-Chinese driver. Chris, we are in for a cracking race. The weather is absolutely magnificent here in the Red Bull Ring. What's it like up in the commentary studio?
Nice and air-conditioned, but I'm sure being from where you are, this is just getting started in terms of the weather. But for me, I'm very glad to be in an air-conditioned commentary box. Great stuff from Ian. I did like that he tried to get the tactics out of Dion Gowda in terms of the push to pass, because that has been the talk of the paddock since the first race. 100 seconds of push to pass after lap 1, and they can use it as and when they like. They can use it in second gear, for example. So there was a lot of strategy going on. Some drivers ran out towards the end of the race, and some drivers, Rashid Al Dahiri, Newman Chi being one of them, had saved some up, you could see, and were using it to push past drivers. So it's a really exciting new concept for this championship. Not only the push to pass, but also we have this reverse grid race as well, which is set to be very entertaining. Beautiful conditions down there on the grid. We're supporting DTM this weekend. We are expecting around 100,000 fans over the course of the weekend, and putting on a show will be the drivers you can see on screen there. It is packed grandstands all around as they watch the F1 stars of the future. Andrea Kimi Antonelli raced in Formula Regional and won in 2023. 4 current drivers on the F1 grid came through this championship. Isaac Hadjar won the Rookie Championship as well in 2021. And that's a thing we also have to watch. There's a rookie championship rookie winners. Alexandra Munoz is the lead of those rookies, with Thomas Stolchamanis just behind, and Emanuele Olivieri will also be looking to come through, having stalled on the grid earlier, dropping him to the back. We had a couple of safety cars in the race earlier, but everyone was talking about how competitive it was, how close there was. On one stage it was 6 drivers for the lead. So how's it going to be now? We've reversed the top 10, the top 12 positions around. We're set to have really exciting stuff, and you can see the layouts, the elevation at Red Bull Ring. The pictures sometimes just don't do it justice, but that is a huge climb uphill there, and then that continues as they head up towards turn 3, and then it's a descent down to turn 4. Likewise, as they come through the last 2 corners as well, they are really dropping downhill through there, just adding to the challenging attempt already to get through. So 40 seconds you can see to go before we are going to see these cars being released, and on to the formation lap, and it's Reza Siwerthan who will lead us away with Dion Gouda alongside. But that run up to the first corner, if Dion Gouda is able just to get a bit of a jump on Reza, he can certainly go for an attempt down the inside Reza. But we'll be hoping for a better run of things. Went over one of the sausage curbs on the exit of turn 3, and that sadly affected the performance of his car for a few seconds, dropped him down to the back of the field. So it will be a reset for him, and he'll be hoping to come back now with a podium finish, 5th in the GB3 Championship.
Yeah, indeed, Reza Siwerthan will be hoping to try and make a bit of a comeback coming into this round. We'll see if he can do so. The cars make their way off the grid, and we will get you with the starting grid in just a few moments' time as to how these drivers will line up. As the drivers now make their way off the grid and onto the formation lap for the second time this season. This has been a very, very interesting season so far. Of course, race 1 a little bit earlier on today took us by storm. Reza Siwerthan and Dion Gouda line up alongside on the front row of the grid. Then it's Alexander Munoz and Reginol in position 4, the Italian driver. Thomas Stolchamanis and Maximilian Popov, the Jamaican driver, in position 6. We know Franco Emanuele Olivieri starting position 7 and position 8 in this one. Sebastian Weldon and Alex Ninovich starting P9 and P10. Followed by Rashid Al-Bahiri and Kei Nakamura Berta, position 11 and position 12. Alexander Adkazava just missed out on reverse grid pole over Kai Darianani, and Salim Hanna and Gabriel Gomez start position 15 and 16. Jules Russell and Andrea Dup. And of course followed by Francisco Medico and Matteo Gigardi. Of course, Kabir Anurag, the Indian driver, the Singaporean, and then Andrea Kostic in position 22. Jen Prevozowski and Yuki Sano line up position 23 and position 24. And it's Marcus Sater and Anya Frey in position 25 and position 26. Miguel Acosta, position 27, and Sega Almoshri in position 28. Rahim Abeli and Giovanni Maschio line up on your last 2 rows of the grid, position 29, and of course, position 30. So 30 cars. Will all 30 cars get off the grid? That is the big question. Reza Siwerthan, can he bag an extra 25 points in this one? That will be the big, big question. Of course, not in the Rookie Championship, but it can easily very much put himself right up the top of the grid if, of course, he can win this race. If he can win it, it will be quite astonishing indeed. So the cars now making their way onto the grids. We see our last car of Saka Almostre, that's Giovanni Maschio, making his way onto the grids. Watch out for a few big names making their way through the grids. But for the second time in 2026, a green flag will be waved at the back of the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go, and the car has not moved off the start, but it's a very good start from Reginol, who will lead down into turn 1, and there is an incident further back, and that will be a safety car. And it is one of the RPM cars off the road. Dion Gowder leads down in front. Good start from Dion Gowder over Reginol. And just further back, Newman Chi and Thomas Dolchamar is going side by side. Make that 4 wide into turn number 3. Bit of a lock up there from Dion Gowder. But so far, so good. And that will go safety car with an incident off at turn number 1. All the cars now make their run through turn 3 and out the other side. But so far, so good for Dion Gowder. He got off the line. And he did it in quite funnily fashion, as now down the inside goes Reno front cut. Sorry, that was Chi who got the move done and up in a position 3. But a safety car has been called due to the incident down at turn 1. And now the field will all bunch up, and now they've actually got to think about where they are in terms of positioning, because Dion Gowder's back to the field right up here. And that is unfortunate. Get you a number as to what car that is. This is car 67 off the road. Done. And that is Marcus Sater in the G4 Racing team out of the race. And the safety car has been asked to go through pit lane here. There you go, confirmation of what will happen. Safety car will head through pit lane this time around with 28 minutes remaining. So yeah, that is very much unfortunate for the drivers. We had 28 minutes plus 1 lap remaining in this one. And then there's Alex Abkazava as well. Alex Abkazava has stopped on the right-hand side of the circuit on the exit of turn 4. Does he have some sort of damage? That will be a big question. Was that a jump start in Silvestri?
Wondering if we can get a shot of this piece of bodywork. This is why, if I can, this is why they say to stand behind the white line in pit lane, because that came flying over the wall as the cars come through down into pit lane. Grazie. That was a piece of someone's front wing. It may have been Munoz. As the cars go down through pit lane, you just told us Marcus Sato, who was so quick in pre-season testing, has had a problematic start. I'm looking at the front wings of these brand new 326 cars to see if anybody has got it damaged. And furthermore, I can see the Trident team. They are behind me in the background. The Trident team getting ready to receive one of their cars. And there is a very expensive piece of plastic, which is going back with an FIA official.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate there. Thank you, Ian, down in the pit lane, providing us with all of the coverage. But you can see there the car spearing off in the background of Marcus Sater, the rookie. And that is very unfortunate indeed. You can see there, that's car 7 of Andrea Zup going way up in the air. But good start from Dion Gowder. You can see where the Reginol getting all up the curb on the exit of turn 1 as the drivers tried to file their way through. Kibir Anurag off the road. We've got one of the RPM cars off the road down there at turn 1. And then this was just the combined mess that was on the exit of turn 3. Cars making contact as they all checked up on each other, trying to find their own space on the circuit. And that's unfortunate. Alex Adkazava, who tried so hard to try and get reverse grid pole yesterday. There'll be no hope of that. Not today, at least. Of course, the second qualifying session coming up a bit later on today. That'll be from 5:30 this afternoon. We will be having that second part to qualifying, and then of course race 2 from 9 o'clock tomorrow. And that is a quite bad damaged car. G4 racing car in the fence. And if I was to guess, I'm going to stick with my prediction of the Norwegian, Marcus Sater, who will be out of this race. And I think we'll get one more lap under safety car just to confirm. Safety car will roll through pit lane to give the marshals a chance to recover all the cars that could be out on the circuit. See the yellow flag there, waving in the pit lane. As our drivers now make their one through pit lane. And see now if Dion Gowder can actually get us offline. Of course, supporting DTM this weekend. Big support from DTM. Nearly 100,000 people due to flock in tomorrow for race number 2 for the German Touring Car Championship. Should be very exciting indeed. I wonder if there's actually a bit of barrier damage that could be holding us back here just before you hit turn 1. That car did hit quite hard. And race control have confirmed car 55 under investigation, false start. So possibly for Dion Gowder, false start. And I did say that. I was going to say that. But I've re-questioned myself many of times as to that. I said it with possibly Oscar Piastri last round at Japan. False start, red lights on. Dion Gowder, oh jeez. Oh wow. You cannot predict that. Wow. That is like milliseconds. And you'd have to be, your eyes would have to be ultra, wow. Safety car will be in this lap. So confirmation there from the race control officials saying safety car will be in this lap. And we'll finally get some racing. After 7 minutes, 6 minutes under safety car. Dion Gowder will lead us away over Reginol as we head down to pit lane.
Simply what happened?
Yeah, I didn't see the car on the left with me and I just hit in the rear and spun around.
A real disappointment given your run up to the championship. A lot of hopes, but still you've got 2 more. Well, you've got qualifying tomorrow and race 3 tomorrow afternoon. How will you bounce back from this?
Yeah, just gotta do my best and work with the team to prepare the car and just analyze the race one and do my best.
Best of luck for tomorrow, Marcus, and bad luck for today.
Thank you, Ian. Great to get an update.
Yeah, great to get an update there on what was Marcus Theta. Who's quite unfortunately out of this race. But the Indian driver, Dion Gowder, looking to grab his first win with 22.5 minutes to go. We're back to green. It's pedal to the metal and it's go, 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 go for the Formula Regional European Championship here, certified by the FIA. As we see, they're one of the MP Motorsport cars getting a bit wide on the exit of the final corner, but it's pedal to the metal and 5 chances for that push to pass to be activated as Dion Gowder possibly using 1 heading up that front straight. Reginol doesn't seem as if he's using 1 as cars now file out too wide into turn number 1, and normally that doesn't end well. See there, a bit of a squeeze to the outside. Onto the grass goes a car. That was Saka Al-Moshri and Enya Frey going side by side, and meanwhile pulling out is Chi on the inside of Ninovich. So it's pop off on the inside of front car. Looking up the inside, Kibirano getting way off the road and up the curb in the process. This driver's now fight for position on the exit of turn 3. Seems as if so far so good. Too wide further back. Meanwhile, we look, rush it out to Harry. Looking up the inside of Sebastian Weldon there, side by side. For car 55, 5-second time penalty, false start. So Dion Gowder will now have a reason to use those push to passes. Dion Gowder, false start. 5-second time penalty. Moving before the lights, I would only think. There's now one of the Prema cars going side by side. This is further back in the grids. Side by side here. Safety car. And why? Oh, and that's why. That is big damage. And you're afraid. Oh, monstrous. 3-car incident. Turn 4. And safety car once more deployed. And this will take a while. This will take a while. 3-car incident. Wow. Enya Frey out. I didn't get the numbers of the other drivers that were involved in that. But that is a big, big shunt down there on the exit of turn 4, of which is Slosh Gold. You exit turn 4, put the power down. And I think it was an incident between those 3. Caused all 3 of them to go into the fence. I will confirm you with car numbers in just a few moments' time. I'll check exactly who that is. But the medical car immediately on the scene to make sure those drivers will be A-OK. As you can see, medical car has been deployed. and car 6, car 5. That's Miguel Acosta and Enya Frey. And we've also got Saka Al-Moshri. So Saka Al-Moshri, Miguel Acosta, and Enya Frey out of this race. And that is unfortunate. The RPM team, the G4 Racing team, that's 2 cars from G4 Racing out of this race. Let's take a look at what happened for this incident to unfold. As, check up. And, well, it was the unfortunate fact. Up in the air goes Miguel Acosta. Enya Frey got caught up in someone else's business, spat himself out to the right-hand side Armco. And unfortunately, Miguel Acosta was just caught up in that. And so was Saka Al-Moshri. But how did Saka Al-Moshri get caught up in that? That is the question. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But yeah, this race, absolutely action-packed with loads of safety cars so far. We've really only got 1 or 2 laps of racing in this one so far. 19 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. And race control. Turn 4 incident will be investigated after the race. That's car 3, 5, and 6. Saka Al-Moshri, Miguel Acosta, and Enya Frey all involved in that one. With 18 minutes and 45 seconds remaining left in this one. And we will definitely have probably 5 minutes on safety car, if I'm being completely honest with you, just to try and get those cars that are stuck in the Armco out of the Armco. I would like to see some green flag racing at some point. But let's remind you of the top 10. It is Dylan Gaudo in car 55, leading the way over Reza Wortham. Thomas Stoltzman is up in a P3, Reno Francott. Then the Jamaican sensation, Maximilian Popov, followed by Alex Ninovich, Rashid Al Daheri, as we head down to pit lane.
I don't want to bring you bad news. We just spoke to G4 Racing. I'm down here with the RPM racing team. As we'll wait for the cars to go by, they do make a tremendous sound. They are very loud off the decibel meter. I'm down here with Roberto of RPM Racing. No luck of the Irish for the Irish team today. Quite simply, Roberto, what happened? Have you had a chance to speak to the drivers?
No, unfortunately, we didn't have any chance. We only know that was out of the race due to a collision. So we will check after the race what happened with Gael. We are, unfortunately, was really shame because this morning he did a really nice race. He started from a P25 and he will finish in the top 10. And we were expected to do the same race today, but unfortunately was not possible.
It was a great race this morning from Miguel, but you do still have qualifying tomorrow morning and race 3 tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully a better Sunday.
Absolutely. We wait the car. We for sure repair the car, and we wait tomorrow morning try to do a really good qualifying, and we see for the race 3 of tomorrow.
Grazie Roberto. Bad luck for the Irish team. I'll use the cliche again. No luck of the Irish here this afternoon with 2 of their drivers out in the same incident. Chris?
That is very unfortunate. In Silvestri, of course, joining Chris McCarthy during qualifying sessions here in 2026. So you'll hear the voice of Ian Silvestri. If you're listening on the world feed, you'll hear the voice of Ian Silvestri during qualifying. Of course, he'll be down to the pit lane during race 1, 2, or even 3, which is, of course, this weekend. But yeah, safety car out. Remind you of the top 10 again. It is Dion Gauda, Reza Wortham, followed by then Stoltzmanes, Reno Francott, then Maximilian Popov, Alex Sinovich, Rashid Al-Daheri, Sebastian Weldon, King Nakamura Berta, Chi, who's got an awful start in this one. He's down nearly 6 positions. Kai Darianani, Olivieri, Medico, and of course, followed by Salim Hanna, Jules Lascelles, Drake Koftic, Gabriel Gomez, up 6 spots in this one already. Andrea Dup, Yuki Sano, Matteo Gugardi, Jan Perezowski, Giovanni Maschio, Munoz, Albardi, and of course, Kabir Anurag rounding out your top 25 cars with 15 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this one. Already 6 cars out of this race, meaning Kabir Anurag start is now dead last. 5 or 6 cars out of this race already. Kabir Anurag puts himself dead last in the pack. So now it's a group of 25 cars will be battling to the very end, and safety car out on circuit with 15 minutes and 15 seconds remaining left in this one as we're down to Ian.
Out on the first lap this morning. Chris, just while I've got you, just while we've got another lap under safety car, we believe this is the final lap before we go back green. Dion Gowda, wow, 5-second penalty. This is the Van Amersfoort Racing Team on the pit wall. You can see to the left, that is a brilliant engineer, Rick Cassius, who not only took Dennis Hauger to the title of the Italian F4 Championship in 2019, but 2 years later, with current Haas Formula One driver Ollie Behrman, down on the pit wall trying to see how they will overcome this 5-second penalty for the race leader at the moment, at least on circuit, Dion Gowda.
We're going to have another lap, I think, Ian.
So another lap of safety car will be out.
Italian F4 graduates and drivers from E4. Tell us how it is now to see them in Formula Regional, and who the fans should maybe be looking at from the Italian F4 Championship.
Certainly, Chris, he has not made a good start today, but Gabriel Gomez finished as vice champion. He was third in the FIA World Kart Racing Championships with the CRG team. It was a relatively last-minute entry. He is from South America. He is not well-funded, but he is a super talent, despite what you may have seen on the first lap this morning. Watch out for Gabriel Gomez to come through. There are quite a few rookies. Still another lap as I look over the shoulder. Yes, another lap under safety car conditions. King Nakamura Berta, of course, he took the title. Marcus Sata, who went out just a few moments ago. We watch out for the Norwegian. Of course, he's following in the footsteps of the 2019 Italian F4 champion, the former Formula 3 champion, now racing in the NTT IndyCar World Series, Dennis Hauger, and also Martinius Densonen, who you are well familiar with, Chris, because he's racing in the FIA Formula 2 Championship. Marcus Sata, he'll be back for tomorrow, following it in his countryman's footsteps. In fact, going right back to Thomas Sheep, who raced in the Formula 3000 Championship a couple of decades ago.
Safety car in this lap, but one more question to you, Ian. We've seen them doing the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy before this season, all racing out in Oceania. I know you're very familiar with that championship. And tell us how that's helping the drivers prepare for this.
Let's be honest, it was a relative shakedown and they did not have the push to pass, which we saw in dramatic fashion this morning. The Tartars team, together with Auto Technica. Remember, it's a new engine after so many seasons being powered by other manufacturers. Let's say we've got the brilliant new 3-cylinder turbocharged Yaris derived engine tuned by Auto Technica. It is a light engine. They shook it down in the Middle East Championship. No push to pass. They've certainly got it here. It was sort of like pre-season training. It was sort of like football friendlies, if you like. But now this is the serious championship. We are underway for 2026 in the FIA Formula Regional European Championship.
I love the analogy. Thank you, Ian. We're getting ready to go once again.
Says the Newcastle fan, Chris.
Yes. I was meant to leave that bit out. But we're getting ready to go again. We'll come back down to you very short.
It should be very good. Yeah, Chris McCarthy doing F3, F2, Frecker, and of course Italian F4 with Ian Silvestri. We're back to green flag racing here at Austria. Can we keep it that way with 12 minutes of racing? It's practically going to be like a Clio Cup race now as the car out wide on the exit of the final corner. That was King Nakamura Berta and Rashid Al-Tahiri, the top two drivers in yesterday's race. And as you heard, watch out for the Brazilian Gabriel Gomez sitting down in position 17. If you can't do well this race, you could only expect that he'll qualify well next race. Car way up the curb on the background. In the background, at turn 1, Dion Gowda, though, just has to keep this lead for 12 minutes. Of course, he does have a 5-second time penalty. As he locks up that right front tyre. Way up the inside goes Vrino Frankot and Thomas Doltramanes. As they both look to go side by side on the exit. Could be Anurag, Munoz, and Albati going side by side on the exit of turn number 3. As now we see... Now, look up inside goes Rashid Al-Tahiri on Alex Ninovich. Squeeze wide. Yeah, sorry, it was Rashid Al-Tahiri in the background. It's Popov and Ninovich going side by side. Meanwhile, we see here, side by sides, there is Sebastian Weldon. Just in the background of Rashid Al-Tahiri, there is Ninovich and Popov. Popov might have got the move done, but squeezing wide in the process. Ninovich, Rashid Al-Tahiri now will take the opportunity to get up the inside, but won't happen. They'll be side by side on the exit, but Rashid Al-Tahiri with the outside line. He backs out, knowing the worst is to come, if, of course, he does stay side by side. it just puts you on the back foot. You're on the outside for the next corner. You're then on the outside for the next corner. Then the next corner after that, you're on the outside until you finally get the inside for turn... Well, actually, you're on the outside for most of the corners. Dion Gallagher kicking up dust in the background. But yeah, you're on the outside for practically the whole entire circuit. If, of course, you go side by side. Through turn 5 up the inside now. Looks... pop off. Reno Francot, sorry. Is now run wide there. Is Alex Ninovic. They'll be side by side. Heading up, and Rashid Al-Daheri will take the move. Ninovic backs out, and Rashid Al-Daheri moves himself up into position 6. Now look, Thomas Doltramanis side by side there with Popoff. Popoff is on an absolute flying storm here. He's using that push to pass, and he's way up the curb and in the grass as well on the exit. He's now to the outside. They're going to be 3 wide into Slosh Gold. Not going to happen. Not this time around, at least. As meanwhile, Sebastian Weldon slow on the outside of the circuit. Was that just a matter of... Yeah, he was very much slow. And now he's under pressure by Olivieri. Yeah, he's very much under pressure. As there you can see Chi getting pressured by Kei Nakamura Berta as he tries to make his way through the grid. Now to the outside, to the inside. Looks pop off. He's now side by side. They will run. Weldon up the inside. And that's move done on Olivieri. Olivieri gets that move done on Sebastian Weldon. He's dropped back. He was actually on the outside of Slosh Goal, which, by the way, never ends well. So I would not recommend it. 8.5 minutes to go now. To the outside goes Reno Francot on Reza Wortham. Dion Gallagher does not look to be breaking this gap whatsoever of 5 seconds. Just got to hope these two battle in behind, side by side. Francot on the outside of Reza Wortham. We all know that doesn't end well. There you can see Francot and Stoltemanes going side by side. This is, of course, a battle for P3 and P4 on the grid. P4 and P5, sorry, Stoltemanes and Rashid Al-Daheri going side by side. And I think he's got that move done as Rashid Al-Daheri. He's up in a position 4. Yeah, very good move indeed. Now back up the inside. Thomas Stoltemanes side by side on the exit of turn 5. Rashid Al-Daheri keeps the move. And again, do not go around the outside. Turn 5, turn 6, and even turn 7. It just ends bad. You're on the outside, and you're on the back foot for the next 7 corners, if that. Bit of dust being kicked up there in the background as Rashid Al-Daheri now keeps the lead. Not keeps the lead, but he's up in a position 4. As the drivers now make their run around the final corner, and now we're starting to get a bit of a rhythm built in this race with 7 minutes and 9 seconds remaining. Now, up inside looks, there look, Kei Nakamura Berta up inside. Chi actually looked up the inside of himself and of Kei Nakamura Berta and quickly covered it off. And I think Kei Nakamura Berta got the move done at the final corner. Meanwhile, Swerthen round the outside looks on Dion Gouda as then pop off up the inside of Stoltemanes. And Gouda will be covering on set. Where's Swerthen up into Slosh Gold. Meanwhile, here look is Chi and Kei Nakamura Berta going side by sides. Sorry, Stoltemanes and pop off the Jamaican sensation up the inside. And he'll squeeze him wide on the process, and it will give the opportunity for Ninovic to get by on Thomas Stoltemanes. And now they'll be under pressure by the man, the myth, the legend, Kei Nakamura Berta. This, a 4-way battle pack, pop off, and that's off the road. Is that Rashid Al-Daheri? I think it might be. It's one of the G4 racing cars. It's car 23. And I think that is Al-Badi off the road. And it is. So he's up 5 positions from the safety car race start. And sadly, he'll be down to position 25. And that is Al-Badi off the road. 5.5 minutes to go left in this one. Let's take a look to see what happened with Al-Badi. Squeezed wide. And that is very unfortunate. Squeezed wide on the exit of Slosh Gold. Turn 4. And that would eventually become the end what would be Rahim Al-Badi's race in the G4 Racing team. Not be happy with that. Meanwhile, up the inside goes Reno Francot. They're going to be side by side on... Going to be side by side on the exit, Reno Francot and Reza Sawurtham. And I think that was Sawurtham's corner. He was able to get the move done. And stays position 2. With just under 5 minutes to go as drivers now try and find their way. Is now up the inside look. Not going to get the move done. And that is car 11. Medico and Sebastian Weldon. Absolutely struggling at the moment. Medico and Salim Hanna, sorry. Side by side. 13th and 14th. On the grid at the moment. 4.5 minutes to go left in this one. Sideways on the exit of the final corner. With 4.5 minutes to go left in this race. Dion Gowda starting to pull away now as he tries to pull a 5-second margin up the inside. Look, is Chi on? That was Thomas Doltramanes. Thomas Doltramanes is dropping back. Maybe has he used all of his push to pass? And he's now under threat as he tries to cover. And now to the outside looks Kai Darianani. And I think he might get that move done on Thomas Doltramanes. Up the inside will get the move done. And now he'll be under pressure by Olivieri for 11th position. Here Francot and Al-Daheri. And Al-Daheri might even get the move done into Slosh Gold. A quick movement to the right-hand side of the circuit. Not going to happen. And looked Francot. Wasn't happened. He's now up in position 3. Francot down to position 4. He's trying his darnest to hold on to these positions as much as possible. Sliding around Slosh Gold go the drivers as they try and find the grip limit of these cars. Here look is Yuki Sano in the GR Racing car. Looking to make a more or less good performance out of this weekend. Meanwhile, Munoz and Maschio going side by sides through turn 5 and turn 6. Of course, would lead to Maschio getting that move done. As meanwhile, here we look, Stoltzman is on the inside of Olivieri. And Stoltzman is now down another position into position 11. And now he's under threat by Sebastian Weldon. And speak of the devil, Sebastian Weldon, 5-second time penalty, track limits. So that's another 5-second time penalty, and he will be warned of that. He's now look up the inside, goes Stoltzman. There's 3 wide further back. That's Kabir Anurag involved in that. Gajati and, of course, Munoz. They were 3 wide on the exit of turn 3. That normally never ends well. It's up the inside into Slosh Gold. Those drivers as they try and find position on the circuit. 1 minute 50 seconds to go. As 0.8 of a second only, Dion Gowda. Has he used all of his push to pass to try and pull away? Or is he going to do possibly a last lap dash and see how far he can get? Of course, a very experienced race engineer underneath him in terms of trying to make time and pull away from cars. Very experienced indeed. 1 second now is the margin. Dion Gowda to Reza Sawurtham. And at this rate, Dion Gowda will be dropping just outside the points. Position 10. Will be scoring 1 point. For maximum points to 1 point at this rate. The margin from now to 5 seconds is 10th, which is Olivieri. Now up the inside goes Al-Daheri. Switch back looking for Reza Sawurtham. Not going to happen. And Rashid Al-Daheri, the Yasmarinian driver. Now, look, Reza Sawurtham putting immense pressure on the back of Rashid Al-Daheri. Not going to happen on the exit of turn number 3. And now they'll make their run down at Slosh Gold. Sawurtham back up the inside. Back to the outside. Not going to happen. There, look, it is Francot and Nenovich going side by side as Nenovich tries to make positions. Good restart from Rashid Al-Ahari, must I say. As Popoff looks up the inside as he tries to go for a move on the Australian driver. Jamaica versus Australia. Very much known in the Olympics, but not so much known in world motorsport. Can Popoff change that? Up the insides. There, look, not going to happen. The Jamaican-American driver of Maximilian is currently sitting P6 in this one. Reno Francois in position 5. Here we look on board as he makes his run up towards turn 1. Driver sitting line astern as they all try and look for position through turn 1 and sliding on the exit as they try and find the grip limit of these cars. Dion Gowda, he's actually pulled a 2-second margin here, so I reckon he'll probably only drop back to maybe P7, P8, if that. Now look up the insides. That is Chi and Nakamura Berta going side by sides into turn number 3. And now down into Slosh Gold. They will run. Slight lock up there from Dion Gowda. Final lap of the race, as you can see there, looks squeezed wide. And in the process was way up the curb as Nenovic gets the move done. On Reno Francois, that's up at a position 4 now for the Australian driver. Actually, sorry, he was covering off that position last time I looked. So he's covered that position off once more. And the final lap of this race, it's not been good enough. And for the success, for the first time this year, it was just not good enough. Checkered flag waves, our provisional winner, but it will be Rashid Al-Daheri who will win in the Formula Regional European Championship, certified by the FIA. It will be Rashid Al-Daheri in the Azheat colours once more for the RSGP team, and takes another storming victory. Is the Yazheat driver. Wasn't good enough for Dion Gowda. 2.2 seconds. And it's because of a jump start that he had to build a 5-second margin. It was just not good enough. He was 3.8 seconds off winning the race. Dion Gowda over Rashid Al-Daheri, then Wesley Worthen, and of course, Alex Nenovic in position 4 in this race.
First day of racing, and well done to Reza Siwerden and Ninovic as well, giving double celebrations for the Rodin Motorsport teams. Double podium it will be for Ninovic. Siwerden, it will be his first podium. And I think that reverse grid format was pretty successful, to be fair. It went all the way to the end. And Ian, what did you make of it down in pit lane?
What a race here this afternoon. Rashid Al-Daheri from Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, down here with Stefan, Mercedes driver. Mercedes victory, not the first time we've heard that at the Red Bull Ring. Congratulations, you must be delighted with your driver.
Yeah, very delighted. It's an amazing performance with a lot of move. Yeah, really impressive, honestly.
Congratulations, let's go down and celebrate with your driver. Chris?
Thank you, Ian. We'll see you make that walk down, and as you said, one of the F1 juniors, Mercedes, they'll be very happy with what they've seen today. A double podium from Rashid Al-Daheri, including his first win in terms of the European side of things in this championship. Got on the podium last year, but this is the first time he's going to go to the top step. Reza Siwerden, welcome to Formula Regional, straight onto the podium this weekend. And Ninovic, really competitive. He's looking like he'll be a real contender. Comes in as the GB3 champion, of course, so it'll be all eyes on the title for him. But they'll have to try and beat the RSGP driver of Rashid Al-Daheri, with Keen Nakamura Berta finishing back down in 8th place. This is a really good job here from Rashid Al-Daheri. It's a win for the Emirati driver from RSGP. Congratulations to him and the team. the Yassit livery on his car there. That's why Mercedes are backing this young man. Rashid Al-Dahiri comes straight out this season, straight onto the top step of the podium. Double podium for him as well. He's going to be a serious contender this season, and Mercedes will be very proud of what they've seen there. You can see the embrace between them. There's his father as well, who will be who only just arrived today actually, and I'm sure had a really good seat for that one, and he'll be super proud of Rashid and what he achieved there. Sewurban finishing in second. We can see some of the drivers just making their way through. It's a double podium for Rodin this second race. Well done to Reza, well done to Alex. I think we've got some reaction now from our race winner. Let's go down to Ian.
We certainly do, Chris, and it's a positive reaction. Rashid, congratulations, mate. Nice to see you smiling. A hard-fought victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to see me smile, but I mean, honestly, after that race, I mean, what can I say? This morning we were a little bit disappointed for how it ended up, but I mean, with the team, we did really a long debrief, figuring out what we had to do to get this win. And yeah, like before the race started, I said to the guys, you know, if we really get things right, we can actually still win. And we were able to get the job done, so it's just an incredible job by the whole team.
Were you aware of the penalty for Dion?
Yeah, I already knew from the beginning. So number one target was get Reza, and then we'll see what the rest is. Honestly, the last lap I saw that, you know, rain light blinking, which means they're using push to pass. So I was a bit worried, but it was quite fun. It was quite fun.
Congratulations, Rashid Al-Dahiri from Abu Dhabi and United Arab Emirates takes victory here at the Red Bull Ring. Congratulations. We'll see you on the podium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Ian down in pit lane there. Let's confirm the result. You can see Rashid Al-Dahiri taking the win there, promoting himself ahead of Dion Gouda, who was carrying that penalty. It was a great job, I have to say, to not just, of course, to go make the places that he did, but it was a case of then doing it without losing 5 seconds to Dion Gouda. He was very sensible in when he made his moves and getting them first time, if you like, and just going through and solidifying those positions and not creating a battle that could have allowed Dion Gouda to go ahead and make a gap. It was a very sensible approach, and I think used his experience from racing in Formula Regional there to help him achieve that. So a well done to him. Rashid Al-Dahiri is the one who takes the win in this race, and Reza and Reza Sewurban and Alex Ninovic, they both look like they're going to be very competitive this season as well. Rodin Motorsport, great to have them in this championship, and they look at home already. No surprise though, what a successful team they have been up and down the junior single-seater ladder, and they'll be looking to add to the many titles they have achieved as a team, with a Drivers' Championship, Teams Championship here as well. So I'd say it's a wide open championship, this one. It was, when you looked at the entry list, it felt like that, and I think the racing has kind of proved that today, that this is wide open. There can be many contenders who go and take the win in this. Like what Ian said, there is almost pre-season testing, if you like, and some friendlies over in the Middle East, and now they've got the push-to-pass system. This is really where it heats up as they fight for this European Championship, and we can see that 26 drivers out there on that grid are doing their first full season at European level in Formula Regional. So a lot of new faces to get used to, not just for yourselves but for us as well, so do bear with us at times. But 26 drivers doing their first full season. I think this is the most wide open Formula Regional Championship we've ever had in Europe, and it comes at a good time because this is the FIA now backed Formula Regional European Championship. Really enjoyed that one. We did of course have those safety cars at the start, which did take up a bit of time, but once we really got started, it was great racing. I think we've had 2 really good races. All I will say is, as always, it is a provisional result. I did see on the race control screen a lot of warnings coming through for track limits, so do just bear with us on that one. We'll see exactly how the order is when it becomes official, but overall it didn't look like there was too much wrong with the lead contenders, so we will see for that one. But I'm sure a lot of lessons learnt today from all of the teams, all of the drivers, and resets and go again for qualifying tomorrow, which will be at 8:45, and then the race will be at 40 minutes past 4. We essentially top and tail the timetable here, so we will be the last race on track for DTM this weekend, the DTM season opener. And thank you to all of you for tuning in with us as well. I'm sure you really enjoyed that race as much as the first race as well. What a race that. Let's get the drivers out onto the podium then. Rashid Al Dahiri didn't quite make it to the top step last season, but straight onto it this season. He'll be super pleased with that one, Rashid Al Dahiri, and a double podium as well. That's a statement to send out to the. That's a statement to send out to the rest of the field. Here comes Reza Seaworthen onto the podium. 5th in GB3 last year. Has learnt a lot from doing that with the team around him, and has now taken that experience into this season, and looking good, I have to say. Looked very competitive, along with the likes of Alex Ninovic, who drove his way through the field very nicely. The reverse grid system working really well from a neutral point of view, I'd say, and that was really good, and it adds just an extra element to the challenge of the drivers. Not just that, but the teams as well, because the teams here have to be constantly on the radio, finding out what is going on with the drivers in terms of the push to pass, how much they have left, are the drivers around them using it, and the teams this year will play more of a part than they ever have before, and that will be the case through the entire season. Nice to see Rashid has got his member from the team up with him on the top step of the podium. He doesn't have to do that, but that's a really nice touch from him. RHGP, you can see, taking the rookie win overall. Well done to them. We are 20 seconds away from wrapping this up, so there is your podium for the race 2. Race 3 will be tomorrow at 40 minutes past 4.
So there you go, 40 minutes past 4 will be qualifying for race number 2, for race number 3 of the weekend. So far so good in terms of a format. Yeah, Q2 a bit later on today from 40 minutes past 4, and of course qualifying tomorrow from 9, and then race 3 of course tomorrow from 9 o'clock. So it should be very, very good and very, very interesting in terms of the battles. But there we go. Rashid Al Dahiri wins race number 2, and race number 1's winner of Key Nakamura Berta. He has to qualify well to race well in race number 3. We'll see what happens. We'll catch you a bit later on. Bye-bye.